Hello, beautiful learners. Hopefully, you're doing great, and I'm also good by the grace of Almighty. So, it's our day 34, and in this lesson, we're going to listen IELTS listening practice test, and we'll practice it with answers and proper explanation for achieving band 9. So, before going to start our class, I just need to check whether you can hear me or not. Then I will start it. Okay. Listen.
You will hear a number of different recordings, and you will have to answer questions on what you hear. There will be time for you to read the instructions and questions.
Okay, I'm quite confident that you can hear me as well as the audio track. It's time to move on. Okay, let's listen first the instruction from him as he was talking. Then I will start it. Okay.
And you will have a chance. There will be time for you to read the instructions and questions, and you will have a chance to check your work after each section. All the recordings will be played once only. The test is in 4 sections. Write all your answers on the listening question booklet. At the end of the real test, you will be given 10 minutes to transfer your answers from the question booklet to an answer sheet. You should be prepared to do this with the practices. Now turn to section 1.
Okay, I hope you already got the instruction from him. Now let's read another instruction from the screen as we can see it, and we have to abide by it. Okay, let's read it. No more than 3 words and a number for each answer. Okay, just we are allowed to write 3 words and or a number for each answer. Okay, we cannot write more than 3 words. Okay, let's see. Okay, here we have a simple one to look. So let's listen it for the first. Contact University. Okay, let's highlight, and the answer would be New South Wales University. Okay, the answer is, okay, I'm going to highlight this one. Okay, let's listen it.
You will hear a series of telephone conversations between an overseas student and student for an international conference on computing technology. First, you will have some time to look at questions 1 to 10. You will see that there is an example listening to this will be played first.
New South Wales University. Good morning.
Oh, good morning. Can you put me through to the School of Computing Technology, please?
Certainly.
The operator responds, New South Wales University. So, New South Wales is provided in the space.
Okay, I hope you got the simple one. Now let's listen for the real exam. Let's start it with first question number 1. So I just going to highlight some keyword for this question number 1. Contact start date. Okay, conference start date. Let's highlight this one and let's listen it.
Now we shall begin. You should answer questions. Now listen carefully.
Good morning.
Oh, good morning. Can you put me through to the School of Computing Technology, please?
Certainly. School of Computing Technology, Professor Dorfman's office.
Oh, good morning. I was wondering if you could give me some information about the forthcoming Computing Technology 25th Conference. Dates, enrollment procedures, cost, that sort of thing.
Certainly.
When exactly is the conference?
Well, the conference runs for 4 days from the 15th to the 18th of September.
So she was saying the conference runs for 4 days from the 15th to 18th of September. So 15th September would be the answer, because it's in the question it says conference starts date. So we are not going to write the starting date or the ending date, okay, but we are going to write the starting date. So it would be just 15 September, okay. Just let me write it. So 15th September would be the answer, okay. Now let's move on to the next one. Conference location. Let's highlight this one and let's listen it.
15th to 18th September. Oh, good. I'll still be here then, and, where exactly is it being held? Is it at the university, as in previous years?
No, it's actually being held at the Pacific Hotel. We've run.
So the man was asking where exactly the conference would be held, and she was saying it would be Pacific Hotel. So the answer we should write it Pacific Hotel, okay. Pacific, sorry, Pacific Hotel. Okay, got a mistake here. I should write it with capital letter, Pacific Hotel. Now let's move on to the next one. Question number 3, reservation phone number, okay. Let's listen. Now we're going to listen a number, telephone number. Let's listen.
We've outgrown the university conference facilities, so we've opted for this new venue.
Right, Paradise Hotel.
No, Pacific Hotel.
Oh, right. And presumably we can get accommodation at the hotel.
Yes, but you'll need to contact them directly to arrange that. I'll give you the number for hotel reservations. Have you got a pen ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's area code 07 and then 9444 1233.
079 444 1233. And what's the red?
I hope you got the number, as at the first the lady was saying that, and then the man was saying that. Okay, let's listen it for question number 4, student rate, okay. Let's highlight and let's listen it. 184 4 days and blah blah. Let's listen it.
Registration fee.
Individual fees are $360 for the 4 days, or $100 a day if you only wanted to attend for 1 day.
Are there any student concessions?
Oh, sure. There's a 50% concession for students, and that's $180 for the 4 days, or $50 a day.
So she was saying that $180 for the 4 days, or $50 for a day. So $50 a day would be the answer, okay. $50 $50 a day. Okay, don't be confused that here it's mentioned that we are allowed to write 3 words and a number. So yeah, if we count it, it's 3 word and a number, so it's not a big deal, okay. Now let's move on to the next one. Contact person. Let's listen it.
And am I too late to offer to give a talk?
Oh, I'm pretty sure you've missed the deadline for that.
Oh, really? But I've only just arrived here in Australia. Is there any way I could have a paper accepted?
Well, you'd need to talk to Professor Dorfman. He's the person organising the conference this year. I can put you through if you'd like.
Oh, yes, please. That'd be great. Oh, and can I just check the spelling of his name? Is that Dorfman?
Yes, that's correct.
So she was saying you just need to talk to Professor Druckmann, but we just write the Druckmann, but we didn't write Professor, so we need to write also Professor, or you can just write it on the Druckmann. It will be also correct. So now I'm not going to write Professor. Okay. Now let's move on to question number 6. Candidate's name. Let's highlight. Okay. Candidate's name, and candidate names is John Hellatons, a computing technology student from blah blah university. Okay. Student blah blah from blah blah university. Let's listen it.
Before the conversation continues, you will have another chance to look at questions 6 to 10. 6 to 10. Professor Dorfman speaking. Oh, hello. My name's John Helston. I'm a computing technology student at London University.
Okay, so you're saying I'm a computing technology student at London University. So London would be the answer. Okay. Now let's move on to the next one. Question number 6. Closing date for talk. Let's highlight and let's listen.
I'm here in Australia for 3 months, looking at educational application of computing and information technology. Right. I'm interested in giving a talk on my research at the conference, but I believe I may have missed the deadline. Well, strictly speaking, you have. The closing date was last Friday.
So you're saying, strictly speaking, you have missed it, and the closing date was last Friday. So last Friday would be the answer. Okay. Last Friday. 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 Okay. Now it's time to move on. Question number 8. Send outline including blah blah. Let's listen it.
Oh no! But we may be able to include your paper if it fits into our program. But you'll have to be quick. Okay, what do I need to do? Send me an outline of your talk and make sure you include an interesting title for the talk.
So you were saying, send me an outline of your talk and make sure you include an interesting title for the talk. So the answer we should write is an interesting title, or you can just write it interesting title. Interesting title. Let's move on to the next one. Also send blah blah. Let's let
Something to attract the delegate's attention. Okay, interesting title. Right. The outline should be no more than 300 words though. Right. I should be able to keep it down to 300 words, but would 400 be okay? No, not really, because we have to print it in the proceedings, and we just don't have the space. Sure, I understand. And also, can you send me a short CV? The usual stuff. Name, age, qualifications, that sort of thing. Right. Include a brief CV.
Okay, so he was saying, can you send me a short CV? The usual stuff, names, age, qualification, that sort of thing. The man was replying that include a brief CV. So short CV and brief CV both are correct answer. Okay, so you can write any of them. Okay, so I'm just going to write brief CV. Brief CV. Okay. Okay. BRI EF. Okay, let's listen for question number 10. Email address blah blah at nuconf.edu.au. Let's listen it.
Actually, you can email it to me. That'd be quicker. Sure. What's your email address? Well, the best thing would be to send it to the conference administrative officer. The address is admin in lowercase, you know, in small letters. Right. So, that's admin@anuconf.edu.au.
So I hope you got the email as he was saying or spelling it and the last admin, okay, at blah blah. So that's all about part 1. Let's jump into part 2. Now here is another instruction for us to follow. So let's read it. No more than 3 words for each answer, okay? Just keep it in mind. Okay, weekly cooking corner jingers, okay? Now let's highlight some keyword for question number 11. The Chinese used ginger principally for let's listen it.
Right, I'll do that straight away. Thank you very much. You've been very helpful. Okay, well, we hope to see you in October then. That is the end of section 1. You now have half. Now listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 14. Hello and welcome to Cooking Corners. And this week we're looking at the most versatile and aromatic of plants. A fairly recent addition to the list of Australian agricultural produce, but nevertheless a great favourite today, ginger. And in the studio to tell us all about it is Jennifer Johnson.
Ginger is one of my personal favourite spices, and I've got a number of wonderful recipes to share with you later on in the programme. So, what is ginger? Well, actually, it's a spicy tasting root with an aromatic flavour. It's related to the bamboo family and has 100 different uses in the kitchen. The Chinese have cultivated it for years, particularly to use in medicine.
Okay, so she was saying the Chinese have cultivated it for years, particularly to use in medicine. So medicine would be the answer. Let me write medicine. Medicine, okay. Now let's move on to the next one. Ginger was first grown in blah blah.
Though you are probably more familiar with its culinary uses. But first, let's take a brief look at its history before we look at how it can be used, because it has a very interesting history. Ginger originated in the southern provinces of China and in India.
So China and India would be the answer, because she was saying ginger originated in the southern province of China and India. So China and India both are the answer. You can write China and India, okay? India. Now let's look at for question 13. Spice traders were able to get blah blah for ginger. Let's highlight and let's listen it.
Where it had been used in medicine and food for over 5,000 years. The early traders who came upon the plant took it to many parts of the world, such as Nigeria, the West Indies, Central America, East Africa, and even Indonesia. Ginger became extremely popular because of its exotic aromatic properties and was highly valued by spice traders in the 17th and 18th centuries because they were able to sell it back in Europe for a very good price.
So she was talking about ginger traders, and she was saying they are able to sell it back in Europe for a very good price. So what should I write as the answer here? Okay, a good price, okay, would be the answer. Let's move on to question number 14. Ginger was introduced to Australia in the blah blah century.
Although Australia is now the largest producer of ginger in the world, it wasn't grown in Australia until the early 20th century.
So 20 would be the answer. Let me explain it to you, because she was saying Australia is now the largest producer of ginger in the world. It wasn't grown in Australia until the early 20th century. So at the first time when it was originated or introduced in Australia, and that is in 20th century, okay, as she was saying. So here's the another instruction for us to follow. No more than 2 words for each answer, okay? Just keep it in your mind. Now let's highlight keywords for question number 15. High rainfall in Queensland, okay, cause, effect. Now we are going to listen it for effect. Let's listen it, okay?
Now listen to the rest of the talk and answer questions 15 to 20.
Apparently, some pieces of raw ginger found their way to an area about 100 kilometres north of Brisbane in Queensland earlier this century. The comparatively high rainfall and humidity in this area produced conditions which are perfect for growing ginger.
So perfect would be the answer. Perfect. Let me explain to you. She was saying the comparatively high rainfall and humidity in this area produce conditions which are perfect for growing ginger. So perfect would be the answer, okay? Now let's listen for question number 16. High blah blah, okay? Australia ginger was not price competitive. Let's listen it.
So it became well established. But in the early days, the relatively high cost of production placed it as a disadvantage in the market by comparison with the much cheaper ginger produced by other countries with lower production costs.
Okay, so high cost of production would be the answer, okay? Let me write, okay, or just you can write high cost of production, okay? Cost of production. Production would be the answer, okay? Now cost of production. Now let's listen for question 17. Blah blah, supplies of ginger ran low. Third cause, okay, let's listen it.
Then, in 1941, the supply of ginger to Australia started to run out. Remember, this was in the middle of the Second World War, when everything was in short supply.
So the cause is the Second World War. So I just need to write Second World War, okay? Second World War. Now let's listen for question number 18 to 20. Here's the another instruction for us to follow. No more than 3 words for each answer. Okay, we are allowed to just write 3 words only. Okay, now facts about Bodrim competitives, comparatives. Okay, cooperatives. Sorry. Now let's listen it for question number 18. Okay, cooperative was formed with something. We are going to listen maybe amount, because we see here it's a pound sign. Okay, now we are going to listen an amount. Okay, cooperative was formed with blah blah.
This provided a perfect opportunity.
Now listen to the rest of the talk and answer questions 15 to 20.
An area this well 25 vats and 40 farmers in the world. In fact, nearly all the world's ginger now comes from the production is used in Australia, like Europe did in the first place, in the kitchen.
Half a minute to check your answers. Section 3. To Section 3. Half a minute to check your answers.
It is still where it nearly all desks and 14 tons. So, they set up the company with 2 wooden vats and 14 tons of raw ginger. But they went on to become the most successful ginger farmers in the world. In fact, the most vats and that was in the days when Australian currency was pounds, not pounds, between Buderim. They started with only £25 between them. That was in the...
Okay, so 25 pound would be the answer. Okay, 25 pound, as she was saying, they started with only 25 pounds within them, so 25 would be the answer. Okay, now let's listen for question number 19. 2 wooden butts and blah blah. Butts and blah blah of raw ginger. Let's listen it.
The days when Australian currency was pounds, not dollars. So, they set up the company with 2 wooden vats and 14 tons of raw ginger.
14 tons of raw ginger. So 14 ton would be the answer. Okay, 14 tons. Okay, now let's listen it for question number 20. 24%, 40% of ginger is used in blah blah.
But they went on to become the most successful ginger farmers in the world. In fact, nearly all the world's ginger now comes from the Buderim ginger factory in Queensland. 40% of the production is used in Australia, and the remaining...
So she was saying 40% of production is used in Australia. So Australia would be the answer. Okay. Australia. Okay, now that's all about part 2. Now let's jump into part 3. Here's another instruction for us to follow. No more than 3 words for each answer. Okay, just move on. Now let's highlight some code for question number 21. Scientists want to know whether global warming is caused by blah blah.
remaining 60% is exported overseas.
Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 25.
Dr. Parkinson, global warming was the threat of the 1980s, but it seems to have fizzled out of people's minds. Why do you think that is?
Yes, in a way you're right. I think scientists have become occupied with the task of trying to find out whether it really is happening and, if so, whether it's caused by human activities.
So the answer we should write is human activities, okay? Human activities. As he was saying, whether it's caused by human activities, okay? Now let's move on to question number 22, okay? Insolation may cause the earth to
A greenhouse effect is, after all, a natural phenomenon.
Yes, as we know, naturally occurring gases float above us, acting as insulators that prevent heat being radiated into space.
And the fear is that the insulation might get thicker.
Yes, and because of this, the Earth might get warmer.
So you're saying, and because of this, the earth might get warmer. So get warmer would be the answer, okay? Now let's listen for question 23. There are many blah blah on the global climate.
The latest prediction we've heard is that the temperature will increase by about 1/3 of a degree every 10 years. What are your feelings?
Well, this prediction is difficult to make. You see, the global climate is the result of a web of influences.
So here's a saying, the global climate is the result of a web of influences. So influences would be the answer, okay? Sorry, influences, okay. Influences. Let's listen it for question number 24. The blah blah does not remain static. Let's listen it.
Who is to say that a simple action, such as adding carbon dioxide to the atmosphere, will not have several effects which might even cancel each other out?
And I understand that the prediction is hard to verify whatever.
Precisely,
Why is that?
because the Earth's temperature surges and subsides naturally. In fact,
So here's a saying, the earth temperature surges and subsides not naturally. So the earth temperature, okay? So ENOTH, earth's temperature, and temperature, okay? Earth temperature, okay, I got it right. Now let's listen it for question number 25. We cannot understand the global climate without understanding what? Let's listen it.
the best way of detecting global temperature change is to measure the temperature of the oceans as accurately as possible.
And this avoids the sort of seasonal fluctuations of the temperature of landmass.
Yes, in fact, an understanding of the oceans is crucial to understanding how the global climate works.
So you're saying an understanding of oceans is crucial to understanding how the global climate works. So that means he was trying to say that if we would like to understand global climate, we have to understand oceans. So oceans will be the answer, okay? Oceans, okay? Now let's listen it for question number 26 to 27. Here's another instruction for us to follow. No more than 3 words for each answer, okay? Now here, question number 26. Let's highlight keywords for this question. When water is drawn through the when water is drawn through the blah blah of ships.
Now listen to the rest of the talk.
And now, I understand you are looking at ways of refining this measurement of ocean temperature.
Yes, for a long time we've measured it by placing thermometers in buoys bobbing in the oceans, and also when ships draw water through their engines.
It's also been...
So engine would be the answer. Okay, let me write it in GINES. Let me explain it to you. As he was saying, when ships draw water through their engines, so the engines of ships, as he was talking about that. Okay, now let's listen for question number 27 and highlight code for this question. ATSR. Okay, what is it? Let's listen it. Now we are going to listen it for location of institute. Okay, we're going to listen the location of place, whatever you say.
done by satellite, hasn't it?
Yes, but now data from a more promising system is being collected. This is the European Along-Track Scanning Radiometer, or ATSR, a much simpler name. The ATSR orbits the Earth above us.
And what stage?
So he was saying the ATS orbits the Earth above us. So above us, you can just write above us or space or on the Earth. So I'm going to just write above us. Okay, BOPE. Above us. Okay, would be the answer. Now let's listen it for question number 28 to 30. So which three advantages of ATRS are mentioned by Dr. Parkinson? Okay, three advantages mentioned by Dr. Parkinson. Okay, let's listen it.
Are you at with this?
Well, it's been up there 2.5 years now. It's an infrared detector that senses the Earth's temperature with great accuracy, and this is what we need.
Okay, so here's saying that the Earth temperature with great accuracy. So measure very accurately. I think B would be the answer. Okay, let me select it and let's listen for the remaining two.
We have to be able to separate out random changes in temperature.
I believe there are other advantages as well.
There are several. Every few days it covers the entire Earth, so it produces large quantities of data.
So here's saying it produces large quantity of data. So produce large amount of data and produce large quantity of data are the same thing. Okay, let's listen for the remaining one. Okay,
It measures the temperature from two angles, which allows correction for any effects that the intervening atmosphere may be having on its readings. Its field of view has a width of 500 kilometers, and it measures the
so here's saying it fields of view as a wide of 500 kilometers. Okay, so can view 500 kilometers at a time. Okay, would be the answer. Option E would be the answer. Okay, now that's all about part 3. We are going to jump into part 4. So before look at part 4, we have another instruction to follow. So let's read it. No more than three words for each answer. Okay, now let's read the highlight headline: how to make personal control of one's health. Okay, let's listen it for question number 31st. Okay,
Now listen carefully and answer question.
blah blah should take charge of their health. Let's highlight it and let's listen it.
Questions 31 to 40.
Good morning. I'm Dr. Pat Plant, and I'm here to talk to you about preventative medicine in its widest and most personal aspects. In other words, I'm here to tell you how the patients should wrest control of their health away from the practitioners of medicine and take charge of their own medical destiny. I want to talk about staying out of the hands of the doctor.
Okay, so she is saying patients should wrest control of their health. So, patients, okay? She was talking about patients, so let's write it patients. P-T-I-T-N-T. Yes, okay. Now let's listen in for question number 32. The single greatest threat that. Okay, we are out of time. Let's submit it and let's start it again. Okay.
You will
Okay. Let's highlight keywords for question number 32. The single greatest threat to health is.
Healers should wrest control of their health away from the practitioners of medicine and take charge of their own medical destiny. I want to talk about staying out of the hands of the doctor. When a patient takes responsibility for her or his own health, and let's decide the patient is male for now, men are in fact more at risk than women anyway. When the patient takes over his own health regime, he must decide what he wants to do. The first thing, of course, is to give up the demon nicotine. Smoking is the worst threat to health, and it's
So smoking would be the answer, okay? Smoking. Let me explain to you as she was saying. The first thing, of course, is to give up the demon nicotine. Smoking is the worst threat to health. Okay, so smoking would be the answer as she was talking. Now let's listen for question number 33. The group who was at most risk of early death is.
self-inflicted damage. I have colleagues who are reluctant to treat smokers. If you want to stay well, stay off tobacco and smoking in all its manifestations. Our department has recently completed a survey of men's health. We looked at men in different age groups and occupations, and we came up with a disturbing insight. Young men, particularly working class men, are at considerable risk of premature death because of their.
So young man would be the answer, okay? Young men. As she was saying that we come up with the disturbing insight. Young men, particularly working class men, are at considerable risk of premature death. So yeah, she was talking about young men. Okay, I got a mistake. It should be E. Okay, not A. Now let's listen it for question number 34. Okay, here possible causes are drinking too much alcohol, heavy smoking, and last one or third one is blah blah, and fourth one is no adequate exercise. Okay, let's listen it for third one. Okay,
Lifestyle. As a group, they have high risk factors. They drink too much alcohol, they smoke more heavily than any other group, their diet is frequently heavy in saturated fats, and they don't.
okay, heavy diet. Okay, would be the answer. As she was saying, their diet is frequently heavy. So let me write it. Habitat. Okay, let's listen it for question number 35. The threat of blah blah is most underrated.
Environmental factors which affect health. I had privately expected to find air or water pollution to be the biggest hazards, and they must not be ignored. However, the effects of the sun emerged as a threat which people simply do not take sufficiently seriously. Please.
So effects of sun emerged. So the threat of sun is most underrated. So sun would be the answer. Okay, let me okay, let's listen it for question number 36. Okay, a well-founded education campaign will help enhance. Okay, education campaign will help enhance blah blah something.
Remember that too much sunlight can cause permanent damage. Given this information and the self-destructive things which people, particularly young men, are doing to themselves, one could be excused for feeling very depressed. However, I believe that a well-funded education campaign will help us improve public health standards and will
Public health standard. So public health would be the answer. Okay, public GALTH, public health, or you can just you can write the whole thing, public health standards. Okay, but I just wrote public health. Okay, both are correct, don't be crazy. Okay, now let's listen it for question number 37. And many illnesses could be prevented by blah blah.
be particularly valuable for young men. I'm an optimist. I see things improving, but only if things that you as students can do to improve your fitness. So now, I'd like to issue a qualification to everything I say. People will still get sick, and they will still need doctors. This advice is just to reduce the incidence of sickness. It would be great if disease was preventable, but it's not. However, we have power. In the late 1980s, the Surgeon General of the United States said that 53% of our illnesses could be avoided by healthy lifestyle choices.
Okay, so she was saying illnesses could be avoided by healthy lifestyle choices. So healthy lifestyle choices would be the answer. Okay, or you can just write healthy, T-H-Y, healthy lifestyle. Okay, S-T-Y-L-E, healthy lifestyle. Okay, now let's listen it for question number 38. Do exercises for blah blah so you may find someone to join you. Okay, let's listen.
I now want to discuss these choices with you. You should try to make keeping fit fun. It's very hard to go out and do exercise by yourself, so it's why.
So she was saying you should try to make keeping fit fun. So fun would be the answer. Okay, sorry, fun. Okay, she was saying do exercise for fun. Okay, that would be the answer. Now let's listen for question 39. Make adequate blah blah prevent sports injury. Let's listen it.
Is to find a sport that you like and do it with other people. If you swim, You can consider scuba diving or snorkeling. If you jog, try to find a friend to go with. If you walk, choose pretty places to walk or have a reason for walking. Your exercise regime should be a pleasure, not a penance. The university is an excellent place to find other people who share sporting interests with you. And there are many sports teams you can join. This, unfortunately, raises the issue of sports injuries, and different sports have characteristic injuries. As well as accidental injuries, we find repetitive strain injuries occurring in sports where the same motion is frequently performed, like rowing and squash. The parallel in working life is repetitive strain injury, which may be suffered by typists or other people who perform the same action hour after hour, day after day. In this context, therefore, the most important thing to remember before any sport is to warm up adequately.
So warm up adequately. So warm up would be the answer, okay? O M P, warm up, okay. Now let's listen it for question number 40 and the last one. Okay, let's highlight. Okay, reduce injuries by using blah blah techniques.
Do stretching exercises and aim at all times to increase your flexibility. Be gentle with yourself and allow time to prepare for the game you have chosen to play. Don't be fooled by the term warm-up, by the way. It's every bit as important to do your warm-up exercises on a hot day as on a cool one. I think one of the recognitions is that all sports can borrow from each other. Many sports programs are now encouraging players to use cross-training techniques. That is,
Cross-training techniques. So cross-training cross-training. So that's all about today's lesson. But before going to submit it, I just need to re-click each answer one more time because we was out of time. Okay, so we need to re-click each answers one more time. Now I'm going to do first to re-click each answers one more time. Just hold your horses. Oh no. Okay. Where is 26? Okay, sorry, 27. Okay, I'm done with all of them. Let's submit it and let's check how much we scored or how much we obtained today. Okay, congratulations to you that we got 9 out of 9, but bad luck for us. We are correct 39 answers, but one is mistake or one is wrong. So let's check which one we got mistake. Here is no mistake yet. Okay, I got the mistake. Okay, here it says healthy lifestyle, but I write healthy. Okay, I got it. It should be E, not S. Okay, no, it's okay. It should be S, but here E is missing. That's why it's a wrong answer. Okay, so I don't think it's a mistake. So I don't think it's a wrong answer, but it's a mistake. Okay, it's a typing mistake. So you need to be careful while you will be writing the answer. Okay, don't make the same mistake like me. Okay, I'm really Polish. So okay, okay. So good luck to you all. See you in the next class. Okay, I'm going to announce that from tomorrow to like 1 week, I'm not going to take any classes because uh, I'll I'll be on a vacation. Okay, I'll be just out of my country, so I'll not be able to conduct uh, a new classes till until I think 6 or 7 days. Okay, but I hope I will see you within 7 to 8 or 7 to 6 days. Okay, so see you in the next class. Hopefully you will practice yourselves in home at home. I'm sorry. uh, so best wishes for you all. So see you in the next class. Bye.